Good evening, waifus and husbandos, and welcome back to another edition of Waifu Cast.
Waifu Cast.
My name is Lunakagers.
And I am Orifice.
I'm Ryusuke.
Hey.
And also in the building we have
The artist only known as Trevin.
Yes,
Trev.
known only, whatever. Yeah. We have Trevin, our artist. Today...
He might have a few things to say today.
Yeah, but you'll probably hear them through us because he's at a distance of...
15 kilometers.
Yes. Anywho, today we're going to bring back the What We've Been Doing segment for you guys because we feel like it's worth it. We feel like some shit's happened and Kevin's not playing Xenoverse anymore.
Yeah.
Or Luna Cage.
Learn.
Before we get into that, though, the topic of the day is going to be expectations versus reality in video gaming. So what we mean by that is, hype and stuff.
Yeah.
To start off, what we've been doing this week, who wants to go? You want to go? Do you want to light this up? You know what? I'm going to go.
All right.
Man, it's been an interesting 2 weeks.
Destiny.
No, not really, because this could get a little bit more personal. Because
Overwatch?
No.
Oh.
I quit smoking cigarettes,
Oh.
so I have been... today's day 6.
Mm-hmm.
The day we're recording this. It's not a massive milestone, but it's definitely something of note. So I've been trying to fill my time with other stuff, and this week that we're recording this and the week prior, we saw the release of Golf Story, Stardew Valley, and Axiom Verge on the Switch. And I picked up all 3 of those, and Golf Story... There's not enough that I could say good about that game if it's something that you think you'd be interested in. It's definitely a unique game. It's got a bit of Earthbound. It's got a bit of the old school Super Nintendo JRPGs through its art style, and it's got everything for an RPG fan wrapped up in a game about golf, and I love it so much because it's so non-traditional.
Yeah, it's always interesting seeing kind of silly stuff like that come out and still be of good quality.
Well, and it's got detail for golf enthusiasts. It's the people who made the game took care to know what they were doing. And don't get me wrong, there's bugs in the game, there's problems with it for sure, but it's for $15, you're getting, 16 hours of gameplay if you cruise. You're getting, that's enough. That's more than an hour, $1. You can't really complain there. It's this developer's first video, and the Reddit community compiled a list of bugs for them and sent it to the developer, and the developer's already pushing through a patch with most of those bug fixes intact. Yeah. That's how you should work with your community. So that's been great. And then this week, that we're recording, that was last week. The most important out of Stardew and Axiom Verge is Stardew Valley. I got sucked into that game, and I'm so glad that I put it off until now to play it. Because it's been out on everything, but I picked it up on the Switch because, obviously I dick ride the Switch.
Oh, yeah.
I have to.
Even though he doesn't really like it that much.
Yeah, not that much.
I'm starting to like it more, though. I'm starting to like it more. Because you hear at Waifu Cast, how much you like something is how many hours you play with it.
Yes.
That's a fact.
So I really love my dick.
Yeah. I started to like my Switch some more. We're getting there. We're having but Stardew Valley, I don't want to really preach to you because I'm sure that, you've heard of it, and if you haven't, look it up. But it's a great way to wind down. It's a great relaxing game.
Comfy boys.
Yeah, you just play and just do stuff. You're not under any stress really. You could set your own goals. I love it. It's just a refreshing way to play, especially after Destiny, because I love Destiny, still have great things to say about it, but now that people are starting to hit max level and kind of wind down on their playing, it's harder to get people together to do anything.
So what kind of game is Stardew Valley?
It's like Harvest Moon, but it's got combat and other things involved too.
So it's kind of like Rune Factory?
It's exactly like Rune Factory, but I feel like the mechanics at play are superior. The guy who made it was made by one person. Stardew Valley was, and the guy when he made it because he felt like the Harvest Moon series hadn't made any improvements to the gameplay since the PlayStation game.
Yeah,
and he wanted to fix that
It
problem.
was just kind of a if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of approach.
Well, and Rune Factory is it's much more dungeon crawler RPG story heavy than it is farming game. Yeah. What this guy did was took the farming game and added that layer of dungeon crawling and RPG aspects to the farming game. So it's very much at its core fundamentally what Harvest Moon was about. And I like that because it's like you can spend your days farming and cleaning out your farm, or you can go to the mine and mine for shit and kill monsters while you're down there. There's like every character in the game you can develop a relationship with.
You can fish.
And you can get married and have kids. Like, I mean, it's such an in-depth game. Like, they're coming out with a multiplayer patch, and me and Kayla could get married. Our characters could get married.
Oh, cool.
And shit like that. Like, it's phenomenal.
Okay.
And
You
it's
guys both got it?
she didn't get it yet,
Okay.
but she will.
And it's only for the Switch?
No, you can get it on
it's
PS4.
everything, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like right here. This is the
Oh, yeah,
PS4
right.
version. Yeah, it's a 2D game. It's not like the pinnacle of graphical excellence or anything, but it is a damn good game for $20
It looks cute.
or $14.99. I think is what it is digitally. It's a great game. I highly recommend it to you guys as the viewers and to you guys, my co-hosts. You got to play it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that, I mean, I'm not saying it's the greatest game ever, and if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, but there's not a bad thing I could say about it on the mechanical side, on the aesthetic side. It is
Yeah.
fun to play.
Okay.
So now,
Dalen?
Okay.
prattled on.
Let's see. Shit. What have I been doing? I also bought Golf Story.
Hell yeah.
I
I'm glad
only
that
played about maybe about an hour and a half so far, so I'm not that deep in it. But I like it. It's a very polished game. Runs really nice. It looks amazing.
It's
It's-
great that Nintendo is, because I don't know how much Nintendo had a hand in that game, but I'm glad that they allowed for that to exist on their console.
Yeah.
And with like full confidence in a developer that had no track record.
Yeah, it's a nice game. I want to play more of it. Takes really good advantage of the HD Rumble too, which I
Oh, yeah.
appreciate. I got back into Gravity Rush 2.
Because those motherfuckers are about to kill
Yeah,
your
they're
online.
about to kill online in January, which I'm not happy about. So
Like, the game's been out for a year.
yeah, they're killing it on the year anniversary.
And
Damn.
I don't know. I can't see that as something that makes any kind of sense because it's not like Sony can't afford the infrastructure for it. It's not like that game doesn't have an audience.
Yeah, and it's not like the online is anything that's intense or anything either.
Well, no, and
it's
it's
a
like-
very passive online like functionality.
And doesn't the losing of this online like lose people access to costumes and stuff
Yep.
as well?
And they
So it's
haven't
like,
said they're going to like fix it or anything.
well, that's stupid because like because costumes are just an easy way to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or anyone wants to complete the game can't complete the game though.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm playing Gravity Rush. I've actually been plowing through a couple different animes. I watched
Sounds about right.
My First Girlfriend as a Gal.
How's that?
It's so fucking funny.
Is it?
Luna, I swear to God.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I watched it dubbed, and I'm honestly I almost want to say like watching it dubbed is like the definitive way to watch it
Yeah.
because it's just there's so many like good like American pop culture like references
Mm-hmm.
that like I don't think would have been conveyed well with like the original Japanese dub. But it's just fucking funny. Like there's like 4chan references and shit.
Oh, that's
it's
great.
great. Like
I mean, see, that's interesting to me because it's like a lot of the time when people try to like dub or sub something like that, where they try to take like culture jokes and adjust them for it loses a lot of its weight because, like for instance, I'm sure that show's set in Japan,
yeah.
so it's interesting that they made it be able to ring through like that while maintaining the setting and stuff without you know what I
Yeah.
mean, having to change anything really.
It sounds
That's
like they
cool.
took a Ghost Stories dub approach to it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. It's like
Ghost Stories is a legendary dub, by the way.
yeah, it's like Ghost Story, but except the dub team didn't just say fuck this entire story. Let's make something new.
Okay.
They-
So
they-
they kind of met it in the middle then.
yeah, like there's one part where like the main character and like these girls like they're like working at like this cafe and like the owner's trying to get them to like read like these racy ass like erotic novels to people.
Okay.
And so he goes through like all these hoops to like get the manager like to not do it, and then it ends up going to corporate and like it gets canceled. And the manager comes in and so like, guess that's another win for you SJW millennials. I lost my shit, dog.
Of course. See, that's cool. I like that. That's a kind of self-awareness and stuff that you don't typically see in anime.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was nice.
And you said I don't know if you were going to talk about this or not, but you told me you'd started watching Gamers.
Yeah.
How was that one?
If you're looking for an anime that's actually about video games,
Like real video games too, right?
I mean, real video games are present.
Yeah.
It's not about video games.
Okay.
It's really not.
Yeah, I heard it was really bad. I didn't watch it, but I heard it was bad.
It's not amazing.
Yeah.
It's just, it's convoluted, like love triangle bullshit.
Yeah. So I guess if you don't like that kind of shit.
Yeah, it doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah.
At least that's
Okay.
how I feel.
Okay.
I'm still watching it. I'm going to finish it. I'm already like 10 episodes in.
But you see footage of Arxis games in it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's because I think I'm pretty sure that the animation studio has a relationship with Arxis or something
Probably.
like
Yeah,
that.
you see Guilty Gear, you see Persona.
They probably did animated cutscenes
Yeah.
for those games. Not that that's a problem, because like, I mean, I personally I feel like Arxis games are like the best games to put in an anime.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
there's nothing jarring about that. You're just
Yeah.
going from anime to anime, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot less jarring than when you're watching an anime and you see literal footage of Virtua Fighter.
Right.
Which has happened a lot. You know?
Because it's like this looks. This doesn't add up at all. I get what you mean.
But yeah, I watched those two. I started. I can't remember the name of the fucking anime. It's some obscure ass name, but it's not worth mentioning. I only started watching it today.
Yeah.
What else have I been playing? That's all I've been playing. I partied with my boy Orifice last week.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there for very long, and that was like the start of my sickness. That whole
Yeah.
awfulness. Like that was the first day I was starting to feel bad. But yeah, we played some Smash Brothers, and I got inside your friends with Wario.
Yeah, I saw that.
I just rode the bike left and right across the stage the entire time.
I got drunk and rage quit.
Yeah.
It was great.
Wait, so when did this happen?
It was impromptu. It was what fucking day?
Last
was it?
Saturday.
Yeah, it was last Saturday.
Not
I
like
was actually
yesterday,
my friend Mikey was getting married, and I was supposed to be hosting his bachelor party at my house. And like 3 hours before it was supposed to take place, he called me and told me he wasn't coming to his own bachelor party. So I'm like, okay, let me hit a couple people up.
Yeah, how are you gonna not show up to your own
Yeah, I'm
bachelor
like,
party?
well, I literally just bought this booze,
Cool.
and I'm like, oh, so people got to come over now.
Yeah, it was. I mean, well, I was only there for about an hour because we had like I said, it was. I wasn't feeling good. Nobody was feeling well. We had
Yeah.
the baby. We had to go home and shit. But it was nice to get out.
Shit, I was suffering last week too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was miserable.
yeah, I was just coming off of it when like we had the party.
Well, I don't know. Like this, I guess it might even be a good time to kind of talk about it for the viewership and whatnot. Because like it's the lack of content this past 2 weeks hasn't been because of animosity between us
No.
or any lack of creativity. It's literally just been
Yeah,
inconvenient
people being sick.
circumstances.
Yeah,
and
we've just
such.
been getting fucked over just like constantly.
The change in weather and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like I'll tell you what, especially like if I could continue to ride this, the high I'm on from quitting cigarettes, like the content is gonna start flowing again. We're already ahead on where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
So, like,
I actually, if you want to one day this week, I want to get back into the fucking Gunvolt.
yeah,
playthrough.
that's. And I talked to him. What we're gonna do for you guys is we were putting out way too many different Let's Plays and all disjointed kinds of orders, and we understand that. We understand that especially by the viewership numbers and whatnot, that you clearly weren't enjoying that very much. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus down. We're gonna do whole Let's Plays at a time as far as recording are concerned, and then we'll start releasing them to you when they're done, and in order and in sequence, so that if you want to follow along, if that's your thing, it's going to be way easier for you to do that.
Yeah.
Like I had said in the previous couple podcasts, we're going to be starting to break into more like the video essay type deal, the analytical videos, all of that. I've been in the lab writing stuff for that, trying to get that ready. So you're not going to see that for a while, and you're not going to see that super frequently, but you will see it. So keep an eye out. Again, interact with us. Let us know in the comments. Let us know through whatever, through
Whichever
all of our
social
social
media
media. Yeah,
We're gonna try, especially because like we obviously all have our own niches for what we get excited about.
exactly.
You know? So like me, for example, I might get excited about stuff, but not necessarily have a whole lot to say about it.
Right.
However, when it comes to fighting games, I am very much
Involved.
involved with that.
Yes.
So I'm once we get the means, I'm going to start, giving some fucking news and insight as that shit comes to us. Right now, we can't really do it, but especially in the coming year, there's going to be a lot of shit to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
And as far as fighting games goes for me personally, and obviously with other shit that these guys would be more qualified to report on. But we're going to try and give you update videos that are little small snippets of not what's going on with us, but what's been going on with
gaming and stuff.
video games.
And it's like we wanted to start that, going over these past couple of weeks, but it just like we said, circumstances didn't really allow for it. It's been, but I feel like we're realigned. I feel like we're all back in kind of the same groove with each other. And I don't feel sick now, and hopefully we'll all be healthy. But with that being said, I want you to now get to talk about your week, and specifically, we're going to break down. This is going to be something that's separate from the main topic, but it's worth talking about because it's kind of been a big deal on the internet. The Goku versus Jiren fight in Dragon Ball Super.
Yep.
We can let Ryusuke kind of just fade into the background.
Before that, though, things I've been doing these past couple of weeks, because again, I finally stopped playing Xenoverse every fucking minute of the day.
Yeah, this would be interesting.
So what I've been doing, I've been doing some pretty interesting things, actually. Things that are kind of out of, mainly rewatching of Naruto is something that I never thought I would do. And,
well, I see. I've never watched it the first time.
Ryusuke's not a very big fan of that because I'm using his Crunchyroll account, and I'm up to episode 80 now, buddy. So have fun with that. But the reason why I'm watching that is because I hadn't watched it in literally 10 years.
Oh Jesus!
And it's over now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Are you skipping the filler? Or are you
yeah, definitely. Okay. Fuck the filler. Why would I watch the... Unless it has Hinata in it. I might watch it then.
Well, I'll tell you what.
She doesn't get screen time.
There was a point in time where I toyed with the idea of watching Naruto.
Yeah.
So I went through and I downloaded the whole series, the first series, and then I went through and found all the filler and deleted it. And man, it was amazing how much of the series just goes away.
Yeah. The thing about Naruto is that it's kind of a meme for people to dislike it because of mainly the cringy fan base it's got. And obviously it's got that. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's a great series either because it's definitely got flaws.
I'll tell you what, the one thing that I know for certain as somebody who literally knows next to nothing about Naruto is that it is good when it's great when it's good. You know what I mean? And then it's just really just mediocre the rest of the time.
Yeah.
It does not it's only sometimes when it's excellent, and there's so much of it that is hard to swallow for somebody.
The thing that I'm liking about it so far, and again, I'm watching it as if I had never seen it before, because a lot of the shit that I've been seeing up until now, I only have very vague memories of. The things I'm liking so far, especially when you compare it to the other shonen that I've been kind of, getting into these past few years, as well as coming back into DBZ and stuff, is that the emphasis on what they're doing to get their power-ups, like their actual training, I think is great.
In Naruto?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because,
it's practical training and stuff?
We're seeing, actual, growth, and we're understanding why they're growing. It's not like, I trained for a year in the hyperbolic time chamber, so now I'm stronger than Cell,
Right.
And obviously, I love DBZ, but they never explained why.
Right.
There was never any... It was never, okay, why are you this much stronger? Because I is.
Yeah, right.
And that was pretty much it. But at least in this series, you're kind of seeing shit. And, I haven't gotten this far in my rewatch, but the thing that I always think of when I think about this point is when Naruto is practicing and training to master his wind element. Because he's got an affinity for wind. And this is how his eventual ultimate move, the Rasen Shuriken, comes to mind.
Okay.
Because he combines the Rasengan with his wind element. And in order to learn it, he doesn't got a lot of time. And he's not good at controlling his chakra. So what he learns that he can do is create a shit ton of shadow clones. Because each shadow clone learns individually. And when they all release, everything that they've learned come into one body.
so he can train so many things at one time.
Yeah.
And then gather all the knowledge into his
Yeah.
central form.
So basically, if he trains at one thing with a shit ton of different shadow clones, then he'll master it that much faster.
Okay.
If he makes 100 shadow clones and each of them do one push-up and then they all go back to him, that one him has done 100 push-ups.
Yeah, essentially, that's the idea. So it's like they're explaining why these leaps of power are, obviously it's still silly because it's a shonen,
Yeah.
but you're kind of getting.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like I said, I dropped Naruto.
Yeah,
About
totally.
50 episodes in. I don't like it, but I definitely gave it a chance.
Yeah.
But I did like the fact that you were seeing the characters grow in a way where it was like, it wasn't just like taking the next step. It was like watching them like use their wit and cunning and learning how to do new things.
And Naruto is very much that guy. And the thing is, when I'm watching that series, I hate pretty much every fight with Sasuke in it. If it's not with Naruto, I don't like it because it's like Sasuke is just this dude. They give him shit. It's like, oh look, he's the best. He's got this. He's got that.
And
He's
then
got
you can
this.
shoot fireballs.
And that's just what he is. And like literally during the entire Sasuke versus Gaara fight, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, because it's just going to be Sasuke.
But then Sasuke gets his ass whipped. Naruto comes in, and suddenly I'm fucking glued to the screen because I'm like, now I'm invested because Naruto has an interesting character. I've seen him get stronger. I'm rooting for this guy. And the funny thing is, rewatching it in these first 80 episodes, I've seen Sasuke win very little.
Yeah.
Naruto has beaten the ass of 90% of anyone he's come up against. Like fucking, it was him and Sasuke versus Haku. Sasuke gets his ass whipped. Naruto beats the shit out of Haku.
And becomes friends.
Yeah. Fucking, then Naruto faces, what's his name? Kiba. That was silly, but it was still kind of cool. We got to see him get his ass beat and still win. So that was good. Sasuke fights a random jobber. Beats the random jobber. Okay, whatever. Who cares?
Right.
He's a random jobber. We didn't even know who he was until this tournament arc. Then we see fucking Naruto versus Neji. Which was, like, Neji has been so hyped up at this point. It's like, what the fuck? Like, literally, people are looking at Neji. It's like, well, he's probably the best. He's probably going to win this fucking thing. He's like, what the
Neji
fuck?
was
Can
pretty
we talk?
awesome.
Can we talk about real quick? It was short-lived, but how hyped the fight between Neji and Hinata was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Dog,
that was my girl.
that was such a good fucking fight.
That was when Hinata evolved into, hey, look, I can...
Yeah, that was such a good fucking fight.
Yeah.
That was a really good fight.
And then, like, you felt it especially because, like, Naruto watched that fight, and he was like, I'm going to beat him because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then guess what? We get it gets announced. Yeah, these guys are fighting next.
That-
Okay. So now, not only am I rooting for Naruto because I want to see him beat this fucking dickhole,
Yeah.
but now I'm rooting for him because this dude fucked up my girl Hinata,
Right.
and it's like, I need to see this. And then he does.
I'm sorry, but Neji's my favorite.
Neji's your favorite?
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, Trevor.
Neji got his ass whipped, and I love it. It was so...
At the end of the series, he really got his ass whipped.
Oh, yeah.
Into the grave.
So, I mean, he redeemed himself by that point. But at that point, it was like, who cares about that character? Now Hinata is my best friend, you know?
Right.
There's all-
Relationship
there-
ended with
there is all this character progression that you do talk about, but they never did shit for Sakura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Sakura
here
gets
and
stuff,
there.
but here's the thing about Sakura. 99% of her character is her obsession with Sasuke.
Yeah.
And
But-
since
It's kinda
Sasuke
shitty.
sucks, therefore she sucks.
Yes.
Now, when I look at her separate from Sasuke, I see a character that I could very much get behind. Like, she's a melee. She's literally a master monk because she's got healing, and, like, she gets taught by Tsunade, so she fucking throwing bombs and shit, you know? Like, I mean, fist bombs, not like actual fucking
Right,
bombs.
right.
But, like, fucking punching stuff and it blows up, you know? Like, that's some shit that I like in my female characters. Then she gets this transformation in the form of the 100 healings.
That is not a transformation.
Yes,
That is a tattoo on her forehead.
But it's a transformation.
That is
Dude,
not
she
tra-
activates the thing
It
and then
doesn't
it creates the thing.
transform. It's a fucking some marker that crawls across her face and body.
And it's great. That's one of my favorite kinds of transformations. You know, it's like In my tier list of transformations, you got hair changing is the top for me, obviously. Then below that, you got what Sakura does with 100 healings, and below that, you got fucking like eyes changing and shit. You know,
Yeah.
that's pretty much where I'm at in my transformation tier list. But yeah, everything is ruined because she loves Sasuke, and that's all her character is.
Orpheus, what is that illegal substance you have brought onto the set?
I took a step back because I said I quit smoking cigarettes. I didn't say I quit smoking.
He's got to toke up, man. He's got to toke.
Yeah, I was not here for all of this, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
We
Did you
just
guys
talk-
even talk about
We just talked
Jiren?
about Naruto.
No, not yet.
Okay.
We got caught up.
Good, now I get to be here for that.
Okay, so
All right, now
other
I'm
than
gonna
that,
finish
let's
obscurity.
stop talking about Naruto now. Other than that, make it real quick. I recently just bought Dragon Quest VIII for the 3DS.
Like recently, as in like within
Like
the past
right
couple
now.
hours.
I haven't even played it yet, so I'm gonna play that. That's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna go home tonight, fucking crank 1 out, crank 2 out, and then play this, and then probably crank another one out.
I'm actually excited to hear you talk about this game because like you're getting like fresh eyes on it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's awesome. It's
I
one
have
of my
very
favorites.
little experience with this
It's
game.
one of my favorites. Definitely my top 5.
Other than that, the only other game that I've played was Project Diva Future Tone. And
You liking it?
yes, it is literally the greatest hits of the series. Because let me explain it to you. There's 2 packs. It's digital only. You buy the game for free. It comes with 2 songs. And that's it. But there's 2 packs. Each one is $30.
Okay.
Or 20. No, 30. Each one's $30. The first pack is called Future Sound, which gives you 120 songs
Damn,
from the previous.
that's a lot of songs in them.
Yeah.
like
There's
a
only
rhythm
like
game.
3 games though.
No, there's a lot. You've played 3 because those were for the PS3 and PS4. There's actually
Oh,
they
these are
date
from the
back.
PSP ones.
Yeah,
Word the fuck
yeah.
up.
All the things that
Damon's like,
that
my wallet just
Oh,
got.
Yeah.
God damn.
So that's 120. So you got songs like Palette, which I fucking love. You get songs like fucking Black Rock Shooter, which everyone loves. Like just to give you an idea, I only bought that pack, right? I went through all 120 and made a playlist of my favorite songs. Not songs that I knew, just songs that I fucking loved.
Yeah.
39 songs.
Damn.
You realize 39 songs is how many songs you would normally get in a full game?
Yeah.
And those are my favorite songs, okay?
That's hype though, man.
The second pack, it was from the Project Diva arcade games and the 3DS game Project Mirai, right? That's 100 songs. $30. So you get 220 songs in this fucking game for the price of a fucking game, $60, right?
I love rhythm games, and I'm about to check this shit out.
Yeah,
So-
I'm so hyped right now.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. You guys have never seen me play these games, but I was actually really fucking good at these games.
Actually, I suck at Project Diva. I like it, but I
Like,
suck at it.
just to give you an idea, I didn't start enjoying myself until I got onto the hardest difficulty of every game.
Yeah.
Not to say I could fucking rape every song or anything, but that was my casual playing experience. I was like, all right, fucking extreme mode, my favorite song. Yeah, brrr. Every time I'd get a perfect, I'd be like, yeah, take a picture of it and shit, upload it online. Because I'd be proud of it, but at the same time, it's like I enjoy it. But then I'd try, like, the final boss song on the hardest difficulty and get my ass whipped,
Yeah.
It was pretty standard, but I was pretty good at those games. This game is the hardest in the series, by far.
Yeah.
The ones that I've played, this game kicks your ass as hard as it can.
The timing in Project Diva is so fucking unforgiving, dude. Like,
So that's interesting to me. Like, are you saying it's hard and that's like a great thing because it's challenging you?
It depends on which way you want to look at
because I already felt like Project Diva was challenging.
it. Well, let me give you an idea, right? I've told you about my my experiences with the hardest difficulty in the previous games.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever failed a song on hard mode.
Shit.
Okay.
Hard mode is one step below the hardest difficulty.
See, I can relate to what you're saying because of Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Because it's like it got to a point where, like, not even to toot my own horn, but back in like when Guitar Hero 5 and 6 or 5 particularly when it was new, I was great at that game. Like I'm saying to you that between me and Kevin, I don't know anybody in Michigan that was better.
Yeah.
Period. Like we were really good.
Yeah, they were. Especially Kevin. Holy shit.
And
Kevin
like,
is really fucking good at rhythm games altogether.
well, and it's
Yeah, he played Stepmania too.
Yeah, and I didn't get
Word?
as good at Stepmania as he did, but we were both pretty good at that game too.
I didn't know you did play stuff.
Yeah.
We got down, man. Dude, I'm saying, like, when
His
me,
fingers were
when me and
lightning.
Kevin grew up, that was what we did. I would go to his house, and we would spend 8 hours in his room playing Guitar Hero, or we would take turns on stuff.
And you know what?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
One of my biggest regrets is not being able to hang out with you guys during the time when Rock Band and the Guitar Heroes with the drum sets and shit were a thing. Because I believe we probably could have had a shit ton of fun
Oh, yeah.
all playing at once.
Oh, we did. Me and Kevin would sit on the drums, and I sit on the guitar, and we would.
I still
for
remember
8
him
hours.
on the drums, but like that was still like during the later part where I fucking ended up moving away and shit, and fucking
Yeah.
I barely ever saw you guys.
Good times, though.
It was. But yeah, fucking hardest Project Diva game. It's not unrealistic though, but it is also the first Project Diva game with a practice mode.
Okay.
So that's neat.
When you select a song, you can
You practice sections of the songs.
Yeah, you can select to go into practice mode,
That's
which
the-
means
that's-
you
God, that's
won't
just
fail no matter
sick.
how much you get fucked, and there's different things you can do to rewind and shit. So like you can set a marker and like play that part, like press a button, go back to that part, play that part, press a button, go back.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Well,
and
for me, that's useful because it's like if you're playing the game and you're playing the songs and shit, and only one part of the song fucks you up, but it's like say 2 minutes into the
Yeah.
song, you got to get through the whole fucking song
Yep.
to practice
Yeah.
that one part, and that sucks. This way, you can practice the parts that fuck you up when they fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know anything about these games.
I mean, hey, you're right though.
Well,
It's fucking-
mechanically, though,
it's true.
Well, because Guitar Hero had that feature. They broke
Yeah.
down the
Yeah.
songs into parts, and you could find the parts, and you could do as many chains of parts as you wanted
Yeah.
for a section you needed to practice, and it was
Yeah.
super useful.
The one negative thing I'll say about it is that since the graphics are better, it gives it a more uncanny valley look than the previous games. Because the previous games, like, they kind of had a little bit of cell shading, a little bit, kind of.
Yeah.
This one is full blown, like, you know, in the last Project Diva game, the opening cinematic,
Yeah.
it looks like that in
Do
gameplay.
you not like it?
I mean, it looks good, but like sometimes it's a little off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
It's again, it looks good because the graphics have increased, but like when you look at them, you're like, it looks a little less cartoony, and it feels, ugh, you know, a little bit.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's actually it's interesting you say that because I had that problem with we love Final Fantasy IX around here. I think that its CG clashes with its art style
Yeah.
in the actual game somewhat.
Definitely.
And as like, I was glad that they didn't put a lot of CG cutscenes in that game because their characters just look really goofy. Like, because it's like it's not cell shaded. It's like it's hyper realistic, but they're deformed and they're
Yeah, they're like chibi characters.
yeah, and it just
almost.
doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And I've always that's like literally one of the only things about that game at all
Which,
that's ever.
in a sense, it's like, yeah, not. Cause I mean, when you do think about them, like they are kids.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, no, and that's what I'm saying. It's, like,
Yeah.
it's not that it's
It's
objectively
kinda
bad.
hard to
it's
think of
just
them as
always
kids.
was
It's just-
weird
yeah.
to me.
What level of kids are they? Are they like
They're
16?
like 16.
I mean, that's teenagers.
I
Yeah,
guess. I guess.
I mean, they're old enough to do porn in some parts of the world, so
And there is- some parts of the world.
yeah.
I mean,
Okay, are we gonna hop into this DVD?
Yeah,
shit?
so-
Yeah.
We've been hyping it up for like 30 minutes.
it's just this ain't even the real topic either.
No, it's
I know,
not.
right?
I
About
don't
to
we
get a
won't
hefty
prattle
one
on
this
too
week.
long about this, but it's definitely worth noting because
Yeah.
it broke fucking Crunchyroll.
It did.
It's like, to be honest with you, it's Dragon Ball Super's Goku versus Frieza as
Yeah.
far as like the level of hype that people have been building around it. And
Yeah, it was insane.
well, Goku got his new transformation that is probably, as far as in significant terms, like the biggest one since Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
Because I mean, well,
it kind of changes
Saying
everything.
God was pretty intense.
yeah, but Super Saiyan God just became a normality
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about where this is going to go.
Right.
Correct.
Like, the thing about this transformation is that it does share similarities with Super Saiyan God in a sense that it looks like a very blatant power-up of his base form.
Well, it's you guys, when we were watching this today, you made the point that they're moving away from his Saiyan shit being what he draws his power from.
Yeah.
And that clicked for me. Because it's like he's just achieving stuff that anybody could achieve through training and like powers that exist within this
Right.
universe.
Yeah.
And it's like that makes a lot more sense because it's like, you know, it's interesting like when I think about this, and I know, you know, hate on it a lot, and I don't think Akira Toriyama is a good writer, but it's like when you look at Dragon Ball being just about Goku as like an alien out of place on Earth, and then Dragon Ball Z being about him discovering his heritage and what that means as far as his power, and then now he's discovered like how grand the scale of everything actually is, and how grand the scale of power limits are. And it's just the way that the show's kind of thematically grown in that sense, even if it wasn't intentional, is interesting.
There's even a moment in Super where Goku explains that he's never been trying to save anybody. He's just been trying to fight the strongest
Super
person.
really took and went and made Goku less of a hero, and Goku like is the enemy of everyone else because his thirst for battle is like the reason for this universe-ending tournament.
Well, they also make it a point to let you know that this tournament gave people a second chance because Zeno was just going to wipe out all the universes in the tournament anyway.
Yeah,
Like without a chance, but now they have a chance. So
but Goku convinced him to do that, right?
Yeah.
See, but again though, Goku's motivation wasn't
No, absolutely.
was not noble. It was selfish.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
have a tournament.
He
I want.
says that. Yeah.
Yeah,
and he's always been that way. It's
Yeah,
just
he has always been
we
that
just
way.
always looked at him as the greatest hero because
because
that's
the
what
show
he was.
never even looked at it self-referentially. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like they never took a look at Goku being just a bloodthirsty, battle-hungry.
Well, even
warrior.
like when he first went Super Saiyan with Frieza, like his monologue was like off as fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
He's
don't
like, he's just so like, nigga,
injustice.
I'm the shit.
Yeah.
I've been the shit. I'll always be the shit.
I'll always
Fuck
be
all
the
you
shit.
niggas who trying to catch these hands.
But-
for real, too.
but, like,
Krillin's
look-
dead. Fuck Krillin.
At least that's why I like Vegeta so much. Because Vegeta's honest about it. He's like, I don't like that you're better than me. You shouldn't be better than me. You're never gonna be better than me,
Yeah.
but you're always better than me.
Yeah. The thing is, Vegeta is actually has gained a lot of human properties now too. Like he's definitely a family man that cares about his fucking family.
Well, that's Vegeta is. He's just as selfish as Goku is,
Yeah.
but he's also got the capacity to care for other people.
Yeah.
Goku just doesn't really have attachment to anything.
I like to think that bump on his head fucked him up in a lot of different ways.
No, I'll straight the fuck up. I really do legitimately think that like he's
Like-
like retarded in some
Yeah,
way.
literally, Goku's
Like-
just autistic. That's what it is.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Like he's good at fighting and that's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand anything
He
else.
lacks
and it's-
empathy on some
and
levels.
If you look at it like
They have shown Goku have major improvements in his farming skill. All thank you very much.
I mean, okay.
I think he really has like lost like some level of like compassion as like, the
Oh, yeah.
series has gone on. Because like in Dragon Ball, he wasn't like that.
Well, think about their world they live in, man. Like death is not permanent.
That's true.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is
That's
the only
true.
meaning he can derive from his existence. At
Because
this
even
point.
in Dragon Ball, like you couldn't just wish niggas back. No, they weren't just wishing niggas back left and right.
I think because like if you think about it,
That's what I'm talking about with this. This is the natural progression of this shit because if they can't die, what's the next thing? Getting erased from existence.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Plus,
you're
like
right.
when you think about it, a lot of Goku's personality shift happened after he died the first time. Mm-hmm. So
And
like,
realized he could come back from the dead
Yeah.
at the Dragon
well,
Balls.
the thing is,
'Cause
like,
even the second time, it's like, nah, nigga, I ain't really trying to come back like that. Right?
yeah, like
Let me chill for a minute.
the first time he
Piccolo
died,
raised my
he was
stomach.
like, oh. First time he died, he's like, oh, this ain't bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what-
I could train for free.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
I got-
That,
He's so self-absorbed, like on like such a weird level. Guys.
So,
Comes
like-
back Kaioken!
and I understand that because it's like when the afterlife is as good as it is for people who were that, like good enough to keep their body and shit, it's like, fuck, who cares if the world is destroyed?
I just like to
And
say
you
Then
gotta
I
think
could
about
live with
this,
them
too.
forever.
Look at this, and this is going to be both a joke and a really serious point. If the fucking criteria for keeping your body fit Yamcha,
Yeah.
you're who the fuck is really like dying for good in that world?
Yeah, at least the on-screen
He's the bottom
characters.
of the barrel. Like
my whole thing is like this nigga Goku said he didn't want to come back.
Yeah.
And then when he comes back, he's like, oh, I really didn't come back to see none of you niggas. I just came back to throw these hands.
Exactly.
I'm about to beat Furious' ass.
Because
real quick.
now the universe is his plaything because it's like he knows death is cool.
Yeah.
Death
he's
is
amused.
great.
Every time something more powerful happens, it becomes amusing for him.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a little bit of a like kind of where it breaks up with this theme in the Cell Saga because of Goku's heart disease and them trying to shift the narrative towards Gohan.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that Dragon Ball Z, like up to Cell, was a very different show than Dragon Ball Z after Cell.
Yeah.
And so like. They didn't really focus so much on Goku as a character anymore after that. He was just fighting increasingly stronger shit after Cell, and that was when it was. But Super's now looked at how that has affected him as like on a psychological level and everything like that. Everything is about the stronger opponent and seeing the maximum power he can see and breaking down his own limits and whatnot. It's just it is interesting. Yeah. It's funny that Akira Toriyama did it without trying to. Yeah. Now with. Finally, Goku versus Jiren. We got a Goku who's done. I'm gonna let you take it off because you know more about the specifics of it than I do. You and Trevin.
Okay, so Goku is fighting this fat bitch and just mollywops this fat bitch, and it was great. After that, Jiren is like, "Okay, now I'm gonna fuck you up," and Goku's like, "Okay, well I'll start off fighting a base form." And then does nothing. Jiren's just like fucking letting him hit him in the face, like whatever. It doesn't even tickle. Then he goes Super Saiyan 1, still doesn't tickle. Super Saiyan 2, and his body moves a little bit, probably tickles, but it doesn't hurt. Then he goes God. Now Jiren's starting to block, but with one finger. So at least we know that these hits might hurt, at least, maybe.
Yeah, I really liked how they did this too. That they showed as Goku, because like. In a way, they've kind of trivialized the transformations, but I feel like they have to by necessity, like because like what we've been saying about how it's been a giant increase in scale. Yeah. The transformations themselves become less important so much as how they augment his power. Yeah. And so through the different transformations and him attacking Jiren, we see how much more Jiren has to try. Yeah. So that's a good indication of Goku's relative strength and all those ones. Right. I really liked it. It was really well painted. Yeah.
So then he goes Super Saiyan Blue. So he completely bypasses 3. And now Jiren has to, like, block. Mm-hmm. And now they're, like, going at it. So at least we know, well, we believe at this point that he can kind of make him try with Blue. Right. But Jiren just fucking stomps on him, literally.
Yeah, just
Kaioken times 20. Right then. I'm like, Super Saiyan Blue.
Why is he just stomping this?
It's interesting to me too because, like, in the Frieza fight, because they're drawing so many parallels here. The Frieza fight, like we said, like even though we as kids looked at it like it was like a fight of good against evil and whatnot, it's like they definitely emphasized that more. And in this one, it's really just like. Who is the strongest. It's not about anything moral. It's not about any kind of like greater themes. It's just like we are literally just two raw beings of power, and we want to see who's got the most. Right. And I love that because it allows it really to just boil down to what actually happens.
Yeah, that's true.
So Goku still gets his ass kicked. Yep. And he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll use the Spirit Bomb now. Because that's what you do.
I've never seen him resort to the Spirit Bomb that fucking fast before.
Well, it's because he's never gotten his ass beat that fast before.
Yeah, he really was getting that work.
So he goes up, he takes energy from like fucking all of his comrades and shit. He's like, oh man, fucking.
All of them except for Vegeta.
Except for Vegeta.
Hey, yo, Vegeta was the biggest nigga I've ever seen in anime history.
He said, you need $5 for that milk? I got $10, but I'm getting 2 milks, and you get no milk.
That's really what happened.
And then, Frieza came by and gave him some free milk.
Yeah.
Frieza!
Right. That's like fucking. I don't know. I'm not gonna make that parallel here. So, that's gonna be too much. But I swear, like, who the fuck does that?
So that was interesting.
So Goku's getting energy from the Spirit Bomb. He's like, oh no, it's gonna take too long. And Jiren's like, do it.
This just occurred to me. I'm going to take a little aside here. I think I can explain why Vegeta does, and it goes back to what you're saying. He's a family man. Yeah. He doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to... He has something outside of this tournament to be invested in, whereas Goku is literally just concerned with being the strongest motherfucker there. So it's like...
That says a lot, too, though, about where their humanity is.
There's not human. Goku and
That's
Vegeta
true.
are Saiyans,
Yeah.
and that's another huge thing. He's not a human, so
True,
like,
that's true.
emotionally, he don't got any anything similar to us. Like as far as that's concerned, he's physically similar, but they don't think like we do.
I mean,
And
but Vegeta thinks more like we do.
that's
than
what I'm
Goku
saying,
does,
and I
which is
feel like
crazy.
that him holding his energy back was due to that. That was him trying to be practical. Like if everybody here something goes fucked up, somebody's got to fight, and I'm the strongest one next to Goku.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's like it does make sense when you
Yeah.
think about it like
Yeah.
that.
And he helps in his own way because when Ribrianne tries to fucking attack Goku when he's in the middle of charging, Vegeta fucking just blasts her ass and was like, no.
Sit down.
I do like that they because like even though they don't necessarily overtly show it, Goku and Vegeta like have a much like a loving relationship,
Yeah.
and I do like how that's
Yeah.
become a focal point of Super.
Yeah, they're like competitive brothers, pretty much.
Well, and it's just that the dynamic between them has changed so much over the course of the entire show,
Yeah.
and it is really cool that it's grown. I don't know. It's the Naruto Sasuke trope, but it's one of the best developed ones because
It was also
they got
the
over
first
the
one, really.
well, and they got over the
Yeah.
bullshit super quickly,
Yeah.
and it became just friendly rivalry at
Yeah.
that point. For just you know what I mean? It didn't dwell on the like we gotta fight because I'm bad and you're good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't devolve into that forever. It
Yeah.
was, and then it wasn't.
It came back
relatively
for a
quickly.
second in the Buu saga, but it dispersed afterwards.
Yeah, and
And
that
literally, like, that preceded one of the coolest Vegeta moments fucking ever when he
Yeah.
sacrificed his life.
Yeah.
Like, that was great.
Yeah, that was like Vegeta's turning point as a character.
Yeah.
Like, where
Yeah.
you knew definitively that he was on Piccolo tier now. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he was one of the Z Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term.
Yeah, I
right?
hate that shit.
But, so Jiren's like, charge your fucking spirit bomb. I don't give a fuck. I'll take it.
That's true. Yeah,
Give it
nigga
to
really
me,
did not
baby.
give a fuck.
Yeah. And so he launches the spirit bomb.
So I'll wait.
It's hitting, it's on Jiren. We're seeing like fucking flashes of light and shit. And the gods are like, damn, this is pretty fucking big. and then we see Jiren push it back with one hand. He pushes
Never
it
seen
back.
a a spirit bomb be pushed back
Yeah,
ever.
the thing is, like, people say, oh, Kid Buu did. No, he didn't. Kid Buu was resisting it. He didn't actually push it back.
He just didn't take it.
Yeah.
Like
So
It-
Jiren
Oh,
pushes
Daddy,
it back with one hand. Then Goku goes Super Saiyan Blue to push it back. Then Jiren uses two hands. And then Goku goes Kaioken times 10. Keeps pushing it back. So then Jiren yells and pushes it back. So he's just using, Then Goku goes Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20.
No, 10 first.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
already
said
said
10.
that.
Sorry.
But then he goes 20. The peak of his power currently. Pushes it back. Then Jiren's like, fucking, why am I using my hands? He puts his hands down, blinks at the fucking thing, blows back into Goku. Goku takes the shot. Mm-hmm. We get fucking a spirit bomb fucking black hole.
we get some like visual orgy or some shit, but basically the spirit bomb's explosion opens up something visually. Goku goes inside of it and disappears.
Yeah.
So, okay, I would just have a quick question. So, technically the spirit bomb shouldn't be able to hurt Goku.
No.
So what does that
So
say?
the spirit.
What does that say
Why
about...
how do you figure? Because the spirit bomb is just straight the fuck up raw energy, right?
But
and it's a bomb.
what he's referencing is that point in the Saiyan saga where Goku tells Gohan to push it back because it's supposed to only hit people who aren't pure heart.
But what does that say about where Goku is as a person now?
Well, the thing is, like, he couldn't even summon the spirit bomb if that was the case. Like that, the thing that you're referencing, it has nothing to do with pureness of heart. Really, my headcanon at least is he told Gohan to bounce it back because he knew Gohan could, but Gohan didn't think he'd be able to because he didn't think he was strong enough. So he was like, "Oh, it won't hurt you. You're pure-hearted."
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, boom, yay, I did it."
I get what you're saying.
But no, like that thing will fuck you up.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a bomb of just straight up ki.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just confused about that.
So
That's the. I feel like a lot of the inconsistencies in Dragon Ball come from the dub we got and stuff, like the way that they adapted it for our audience. Because like I feel like Kai doesn't have a lot of this problem,
Yeah.
and if it does, because it's like you said, it's probably more so like in joke. You know, nothing is. You're not supposed to take things at face value in this
Yeah.
show. You're not supposed to take them like I said that only the pure-hearted can't be hurt by it. You know,
Right.
because Goku's stupid. What the fuck does he know?
That's true.
You also
That's
have
true.
to consider.
I just
Goku's
assumed it was
fucking
like
dumb.
Nimbus rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so. They think he disappears.
Yeah, they think he dies.
yeah, they think
Dead.
that Jiren killed him with his own spirit bomb.
And they're like, no, that nigga killed himself.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
foul.
Yeah,
So
no foul.
and like that would have been a perfect way, like in like a non-entertainment based world, where it's like, okay, the strongest motherfucker ever. Well, Goku died, but at least that means now he's not a factor because he'll get disqualified. Like that would have been a cool way if we weren't trying to watch it as a Dragon Ball series, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But since the show must go on, no, it doesn't count because he, you know, that was his attack. He did it. You know, if that would have hit, it would have killed him, and then he would have been disqualified.
Right.
Yeah.
So now he killed himself. So whatever.
You know, yeah, speaking of that, what the fuck was he thinking of that then?
I mean, like the way I look at it, it's like if he's so strong to be able to mollywop
well,
Goku.
Here's
What
where
is
I'm
this?
at. I don't think Goku thought it was. I think it was. Look at it like this. We saw what happened with Kid Buu, where, like he's saying. So it's like you're standing on solid ground. He catches the ball. It's still moving. It's still got momentum, and it's pushing Kid Buu into the ground, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine that he threw it at a trajectory at Jiren that if he did that same thing, it would eventually push him out of bounds, which is the objective here, right?
Possibly, but at
Okay.
the same
Knowing
time,
that Jiren could stop it, because Kid Buu could stop it, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he had to have known that if Kid Buu could not take the blast, Jiren's way stronger than Kid Buu, so at least that.
the way I'm thinking about it is that, again, what we were talking about, Goku was not concerned about the rules at this point. He wanted to beat a strong opponent.
I
So
was like, I don't give a fuck about the score.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no,
fuck
that,
the
I mean,
universe,
I
like
feel
that.
like there's merit to both of those.
Yeah.
I think it was probably a mix of the two. I feel like it's like, if it kills him, it kills him.
Yeah.
But it probably won't, so I'll
plus,
win anyways.
if it
Like,
did kill him and Goku got disqualified, at least there's still no Jiren, so Vegeta can handle it.
Exactly. If there's a lot of angles there. Because like I
Yeah.
said, Vegeta, there's nobody that's stronger than Vegeta in the rest of the tournament.
As far as we know.
Yeah, well, I
Like
mean, unless
the
they're gonna
other
drop
two
some
Pride
Deus Ex
Troopers
Machina.
might have some shit to say, but
Hit is pretty strong.
yeah.
In this next episode, Hit's going to be the one that's taking on Jiren.
Yeah, but I think he's going to get his ass whipped.
Yeah.
Unless he's like, guess what? I can do it too. But
He's going to be
Ultra Instinct.
Right.
He's going to be able
This
to
is a
hold
novelty
him
now.
off until
One episode
Goku
in.
Gets
Yeah.
back.
So now everybody's like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Goku's gone, and then we get treated to a little visual where the sun or whatever goes behind a
Yeah.
pillar, and then as it appears on the other side, lightning starts flashing and shit, and fucking here comes Goku.
This, by the way, was like the coolest Dragon Ball Z transformation I've seen, as far as like the actual.
I actually think that he looks cooler in this form than he's ever looked before, and it's interesting to me because he's such a simple transformation.
Yeah.
His hair is silver. It's not. It's like a dark gray silver, the same as his eyes. I'm telling you, you could like in places, and like the silver in his eyes. He's basically his base form with his hair slightly upturned, but he's got like a silvery tinge to his hair and his eyes, and he's got like a blue and red kind of
Like-
glow all over him.
This to me was kind of more so like, they make like a comparison like to the Frieza saga, but like this to me was more reminiscent of like Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 for the first time.
Almost, yeah.
See, it
because
wasn't
it
as
was such a-
dramatic. I don't feel like
It
though.
was such a. I'm talking about as far as like
Well,
what the
that's not what I
transformation
mean
does.
to say.
It's such a lean and tame transformation, and like he's effortlessly doing all this shit.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this transformation had a much more direct impact on his overall physical abilities
Yeah.
than anything beforehand. Like
Yeah.
he fought differently post this transformation than he
Yeah.
did before.
Because if you look at it,
Because it's like we said earlier, it's called what is it, Ultra Instinct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a complete different shift in world perspective.
Yeah.
And like perspective of things.
yeah, it is definitely more of a state than it is
Yeah.
a transformation. I liken this to Naruto Sage Mode.
Yeah.
I think I fully believe that we're going to see this stacked with Super Saiyan, and this could be what makes that alternate colored Super Saiyan. Because like everyone's thinking we're going to get Super Saiyan White. The only way I could see it happening, because if you look at this form, like he's got some shit going on. I could see it being white, if you stack Super Saiyan with this form, it might end up being a white color.
Well, and we could consider that this arc might be the end of Dragon Ball Super, and I'm actually starting to think so because.
Oh no, there's more after this
You
arc.
think so?
Yeah, no, that's.
See, here's my question then, because Jiren is basically like the strongest thing that he could possibly ever fight at this point.
I mean,
Unless
so
he
was
wishes-
Beerus.
Yeah, but I'm saying the only way but
So all the universes that are fighting are the weakest universes. There are 4 that
That's
don't
true.
have to fight.
Yeah, there are 4 that are not
That
fighting.
are
oh, okay. So well, that's
And the
my
reason why
ignorance
they're
on
left out
Super
is
then.
because they have the strongest mortals out of all 12 universes.
Okay.
So, like, the original idea behind this was that Zeno was like, these universes are all fodder. I'm going to get rid of all 8 of these, and only the 4 strongest ones will remain. But then Goku was like, hey, we should have a tournament. He was
So
like,
one
oh,
of us
all
can
right.
stay.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I just want to fight people, and they put it together. The Grand Priest probably put it all together.
Yeah.
Because as we've seen, Zeno, the 2 Zenos are children,
Yeah.
so nobody really
Was he
cares.
ever at once like one person?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they are still one person. It's just during the Future Trunks timeline, they summoned Zeno to erase the universal Zamasu now because he was a god. He couldn't be killed, but Zeno could erase him. So he did, and they ran away. And Goku was like, I have a funny idea. So they go back into this erased time where there's literally a world of void and nothing, and then Zeno's just floating around. And Goku's like, hey, you should come with me. So he takes him to their time and introduces him to their Zeno. And now they're just 2 of them. They're buddies.
Before that happened,
Both of them.
Goku
It's
had-
timey-wimey bullshit.
Yeah.
And
is what it
Goku's
is.
an idiot.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like he understands power and literally nothing else.
Yeah.
His understanding of power is that more of it is good.
Oh, so you literally haven't seen that because everyone's afraid of Zeno. All the gods, all the Kais, they bow.
Yeah, because-
they bow respectfully. Goku walks up, picks him up like a child, like talks to him like he's normal. Zeno wants to meet with him. He's like, no, I'm busy. I want to do other stuff. And everyone's like, what? Who the fuck is talking to Zeno like that? And like that's. And Goku's like, all right, I'll give you a present next time I see you. Next time he sees him, he gives him himself. Now there are 2 Zeno.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this new form, like the way that we saw this fight play out was really fucking cool to me.
Yeah.
Like, because it immediately starts off by showing Jiren doing that glance thing with his eyes that we saw him hit Goku with.
but us being able to see it
Yeah.
because now we're in Goku's new perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. They went like when you're first watching them fight, you're seeing it through Goku's normal, eyes and everybody else's eyes. So
Yeah.
what Jiren does is we can't perceive it. Now we're watching from this upgraded Goku's perspective, seeing what Jiren's doing and watching everyone else still not able to
Yeah.
see it. So we're, you know what I mean? So it's like we're made aware that only Goku's had a shift in perspective.
My favorite part was the first part. When Goku finally gets this form, we're looking through his eyes. He takes a step forward, still looking through his eyes, and suddenly we just see Jiren
Yeah, he
dodge a kick.
Yeah.
Like, we just see that through Goku's perception, and now, like, it's like, holy shit.
It was like it's almost like he acted so fast that he couldn't perceive it well
Yeah.
enough yet.
Every time he moved, he'd look at his hands like he didn't fully understand
Yeah.
how he
Yeah.
was moving.
It was interesting because towards the end of that fight, he understood it, and you could
Yeah.
tell that he got control.
It was very similar to when he got Super Saiyan God in the series. Not in the movie, because it was a different thing. But in the series, like, when Goku first goes God form, like, he charges at Beerus, and he fucking stumbles over himself. Because he's like, this is more power than he's ever, like, fathomed before. Like, originally, when he gained new transformation, like, yeah, that was a crazy increase in power. But this one was so farther above that it was that ridiculous. And now we're seeing that again with this transformation, or
Yeah.
this state.
I just, for me, Dragon Ball, like, I'm not trying to be a contrarian. It's been the biggest detracting factor in getting me to watch Super is that it takes way too long for anything meaningful like this to happen.
Yeah.
You have to get through so much shit before you finally get to the stuff that's super exciting. And it's like,
You can't just push the spirit bomb back and forth for like 10 fucking minutes.
yeah, even in the one episode, that's what I'm saying. Like, it took this was over the course of 2 episodes,
Yep.
and only really the last like 5 or so minutes of it was.
Yeah.
anything of substance.
that payoff.
Jiren
But
staring at
it's
the
like
spirit bomb.
that's the thing though, and I mean I feel like it sucks that there's so much more build up than payoff, but there's no very few series have that kind of payoff.
Yeah.
They're like, as we've broken it down, like they conveyed so well the meaning behind the transformation he took,
Yeah.
how much it pushed him forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was super well done, and that's not super well done in most cases.
Yeah.
I don't like. I think that My Hero did it well with him being able to do the
Full cowl.
Full
full
cowl.
cowl and versus his 100% smash.
Yeah.
Because like he doesn't destroy himself. He's not as powerful, but there's a clear difference between him using some of his power and him using all of his power.
Yeah.
And they go really they separate that really well. I feel like this was done that same way, and it was done like
Right.
almost systematically. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the way that they built up their fight all the way to this point, it was definitely a very
Right.
worked
Like
well.
if it would have literally opened the episode, Goku like transforming Kaioken times 20 Super Saiyan Blue, fucking getting shit stomped in 5 seconds, using the Spirit Bomb, and that back and forth only lasted 2 minutes, it probably wouldn't have felt like that big of a nut bust to see this transformation in comparison to the fucking like 40 minutes that we had to sit through in order to get there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the build up, even though it's long and grueling, and I totally understand where you're coming from there.
All that foreplay.
But that's what makes the
I mean, it is
foreplay
like an
makes the
orgasm.
nut.
When you liken it to an orgasm, I get it, because it's like you're not nutting for a half hour, you're
Yeah.
nutting for 15 seconds, and you're done, and then you want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get it. It is very much that way. So they approach it like the humans approach their orgasms. I can appreciate that for what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so originally this was going to be about
Yeah.
expectations versus reality, and I
Well-
still want to talk about it.
You know what's perfect though? No, fuck that. We're not
They
even
ex-
talking about
they
it here.
expected
You're
that.
expecting that we talk about that, but the
But in
reality
reality,
is
you got a Dragon Ball episode, nigga.
Hey! Fuck yeah.
we'll probably talk about that the next episode though, honestly.
Yeah, but we're gonna call it hype.
Right.
All right, so you've been with us.
Oh my god.
Oh god, this was a great one,
Th-
guys.
This,
That
this
was-
is
that
like
was fun.
if anyone's gonna have an argument about how we are not organized at all, this is the episode to do it. Even though it's literally a great episode.
No, I'll tell you what. This was the point for me in a lot of ways, because like expectations versus reality is what I wanted this to be, and it fit so well with what we're actually gonna do.
Our expectation was to spend 15 minutes talking about what we were doing with our weeks and talking about Jiren versus Goku.
And we talked an hour about both those things. So,
Oops.
follow us on Facebook, WaifuCast. Follow us on Twitter at WaifuCast. Follow us on Instagram at WaifuCast. We are on SoundCloud at WaifuCast. We are on iTunes. We are on Google Play at WaifuCast. We are on Redbubble. Buy a shirt at WaifuCast Productions. Leave us a comment on the YouTube channel. Let us know what you think. Give us recommendations for topics, because you guys don't comment very much, but I read them. They'll read them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if
We
you guys
will
want
see
to
them.
talk about something, definitely let us
Yeah,
know.
please let us know, because we're more than willing and open for suggestions.
Yeah.
Brandon. Anywho,
With that
Or we
said,
might just brush a topic off altogether.
yeah,
hey, you never know with
expectations
us.
versus reality.
Expectations versus reality.
With that said, we're gonna go away for a while. But while we're gone, don't
Yeah.
forget your wife.
never
Forget
forget.
your wife.